What if I told you that a Nigerian traditional ruler, a king with centuries of royal lineage behind him, was sentenced to nearly 5 years in an American federal prison just yesterday, and that his crime involved exploiting a global pandemic that killed millions? This isn't fiction. This is the shocking true story of how Oba Joseph Oloyede went from wearing a crown to wearing prison stripes. Stay with me, because this story has everything: royal deception, COVID-19 relief fraud, and a $4.2 million scheme that rocked 2 continents. I am Esther Olateju, uncovering this story for RNN TV. Picture this. During the day, Oba Joseph Oloyede was a revered Akwetu of Ikpetu Modu in Nigeria's Osun State, a 6-year-old traditional ruler crowned in 2019, respected by thousands of subjects who looked to him for guidance and leadership. In the night, he was Joe Oloyede, tax preparer from Medina, Ohio, living in a quiet, suburban American life with dual citizenship, helping people file their returns. But here is where this story takes a dark turn. Because when the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020 and the US government rolled out emergency relief programs worth over $1 trillion, this Nigerian king saw an opportunity that would ultimately destroy everything he had built. What happened next would make headlines across 2 continents and leave an entire Nigerian community without their traditional ruler. Between April 2020 and February 2022, while the world was struggling through lockdowns and business were dying, Oba Oloyede was allegedly orchestrating one of the most brazen fraud schemes targeting COVID-19 relief programs. Here's how he did it. Working with his accomplice, Pastor Edward Oluwasomi. Yes, a pastor was involved. They controlled multiple fake businesses and submitted completely falsified loan applications to the Paycheck Protection Program and Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. The scale? A staggering $4.2 million fraud. But here's what makes this even more shocking. At least 17% of all COVID-19 EIDL and PPP funds were disbursed to potentially fraudulent actors, meaning Oloyede was part of a massive epidemic of fraud that saw over $200 billion in potentially fraudulent COVID-19 EIDLs. EIDL targeted advances, supplemental targeted advances, and PPP loans distributed by the US government. They inflated employee numbers, faked payroll expenses, and pocketed over $1.7 million for Oloyede's companies alone. But it gets worse. They also recruited others into the scheme, charging 15 to 20% kickbacks for helping file fraudulent applications, adding another $1.3 million to their total haul. All while people were dying from COVID-19. All while legitimate businesses were struggling to survive. But you can't fool the FBI forever. The investigation involved multiple agencies, the FBI, IRS, and Department of Transportation's Inspector General. Criminal investigation has investigated 1,644 tax and money laundering cases related to COVID-19 fraud, potentially totaling $8.9 billion as part of the massive crackdown on pandemic fraud. In April 2024, both Oloyede and Pastor Oluwasomi were indicted on 13 counts, including conspiracy to commit wire fraud, money laundering, and filing false tax returns. The evidence was overwhelming. Oloyede pleaded guilty in April 2025, but the damage to his reputation and his kingdom was already done. Yesterday, August 26, 2025, U.S. District Judge Christopher A. Boyko sentenced Oba Joseph Oloyede to 56 months in prison. That is nearly 5 years behind bars. But the punishment doesn't stop there. 3 years of supervised release after prison. $4,408,543 in restitution, more than the original fraud amount forfeiture of his Medina home, but with stolen COVID-19 relief funds, nearly $100,000 in seized funds. His accomplice, Pastor Oluwasomi, was sentenced to 27 months in prison in July 2024 and ordered to pay more than $1.2 million in restitution. Today, the people of Ikpetu Modu sit without their traditional ruler. His prolonged absence has left the people of Ikpetu Modu without an active traditional ruler, leading to concerns about a leadership vacuum and the succession process. On social media, Nigerians are grappling with the reality that even traditional authority offers no shield from justice. As one user perfectly put it, no crown shields from justice. This story serves as a stark reminder that when public trust is exploited, especially during humanity's darkest hours, justice will eventually prevail, no matter how high your throne sits. What do you think? Should traditional rulers be held to higher standards? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more shocking true crime stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. If you found this story as unbelievable as I did, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because I've got more incredible true stories coming your way. And seriously, let me know in the comments, what do you think of this case? Should traditional rulers face harsher penalties when they break the law? Thanks for watching RNN TV.